rolls, you know what I mean? And then my name's right here, cool beans. There's also a matching lunchbox and pencil case. How freaking cute, so cute. These are really good material and everything. I'm really happy with how they turned out. I was supposed to tell you guys about these like 2 months ago, but I felt like I was telling you about too many things that you should buy and I just felt guilty. But it's been a while and these are there. There's also another design that matches my old t-shirt design. It's like my face and there's some bread, miscellaneous things, and that also comes in the pencil case and lunchbox as well. There'll be a link in the description box to go check that out. But in the meantime, let's talk about school. I did not know that I was transgender when I was in high school. I outwardly looked what you might expect a young trans girl or gender questioning person to look like, but I did not have the language to understand or explain my feelings. So that made it a lot harder for me. So if you're a young trans person and you actually understand what you're feeling, that helps. That helps significantly. Obviously, that does not help as much as everything being perfect, but it is a step in the right direction. I remember a really big issue for me was bathrooms. And the biggest problem, I think, the reason why this did not get easier for me was because I didn't understand that I was trans. So I never communicated to the staff what the solution would be. I just knew I felt incredibly unsafe and out of place in men's in the boys' changing rooms and bathrooms. I actually did not once step foot in them for my entire 4-year high school career. I never went in the boys' bathroom for 4 frickin' straight years. I lived fairly close to the school, so what I did, and what might be an option for you if this is something safe for you and this is what would work for you possibly, would be walking home to go to the bathroom and then coming back. Sometimes I did not come back because I was having a bad day and I don't know, I got good grades so my parents let me skip sometimes. I don't know. They didn't seem to be too bothered by it as long as I was not failing my classes. And I was a good student. I just was confused in every single other way. I had no idea what was going on. What is my hair doing? This is supposed to be a glamorous channel. I'm supposed to be giving you lifestyle and beauty? I never actually claimed that, so I can't actually feel guilty for having messy hair, okay? Never did I claim I was a beauty channel. That's what it's supposed to do, right? Yeah. So if that's an option for you, that might be something that works. If you can communicate to somebody on the staff, you don't have to necessarily tell everybody, but maybe, I don't know, a counselor or a principal some kind of teacher that you trust, they might be able to give you access to another washroom. Not necessarily like, you know, if you're a trans girl like me, it might not be the girls' washroom. If you're not ready to come out yet, or, you know, if you just don't feel safe in the guys' washroom, you might be able to ask a staff member for access to a staff washroom, or for another washroom that has a different purpose, like an accessible washroom, which was what I ended up using in 12th grade, because I told them, like, I need to go to the washroom somewhere and I'm not going to the boys, and they were like, okay, use the accessible one. And that was a sort of solution. The problem here is it doesn't really make me feel integrated into the school. It doesn't make me feel included as a human being. But again, I didn't have the language I needed to understand this, so that's the reason I was okay with this other option. And it served my purposes, it was fine. You know, looking back, with the staff that I knew, with the teachers that I knew, with the people that worked there that cared about me, I know that if I did have the language to understand this, that they would have given me access to the girls' washroom. They would not have thrown a fit because they were great. If you're just going into a new school, maybe you're not sure if the staff is going to be accepting or accommodating, but you may be surprised. I'm not promising you will be, but you may be surprised, so fingers crossed for you. Maybe there will be a staff member that rocks your socks off. I really hope so. Another thing that really plagued me was a friend circle. So when I was in 9th grade, I had not come out of the closet as gay yet, because that's what I thought I was. And I still was hanging out with all of my male friends from 8th grade into 9th grade into high school. Pretty quickly in 9th grade, I started feminizing myself and I started, you know, wearing women's clothing and wearing makeup and everything. And everybody was like, okay, we know you're a homosexual, like just tell us, right? So I did, and then everything was fine until the start of 2nd semester. And then pretty much everybody was like, a homosexual, I can't be seen near him. Clutching the pearls, you know what I mean? And I lost most of my friends. Like, I would say 99% of my friends were like, peace, you know? And I had to make new friends, which was okay because I made some wonderful, amazing friends that stuck with me all the way through my high school career, and I still talk to some of them to this day pretty frequently. The bottom line is, if somebody is going to drop you like a hot potato because of who you are, something that you cannot change about yourself, something that is a part of you, those are not your friends to begin with. And that might sound harsh, but that is the best way to think of it, because that will allow you to move on and get new friends quickly, and you'll be able to establish a new sense of place, a new sense of belonging. And that really does help with making high school more survivable for people. Now, my school was pretty poor. I came from a pretty poor town, so we didn't really have clubs. Really, like there were like 3 clubs and nobody really did them, nobody went to them. Mostly it was sports teams, like football was a big deal where I came from, which was not going to work for me. But if your school has, you know, some groups and clubs and things, you might be able to find belonging and friends in a place like that. Maybe you have an interest like chess or, I don't know, comic books, and maybe there's a group like that in your school, or maybe people in your drama class, you know, you can get along really well with them. Maybe somebody that you feel like you work well with. I don't know. It seems so daunting when you're a young teenager to approach people and talk to them and make friends. It feels like you're not supposed to do that, like it's taboo. But when you become an adult, when you get out of high school and you have a little bit more perspective and a little bit more understanding of how big the world is, it feels different. And I would like to think that me telling you, hey, it's not a big deal, just talk to somebody that you think is cool and try to make friends. I like to think that would translate properly, but when I'm thinking back to how I felt when I was 13, 14 years old, I'd probably be like, you have no idea what you're talking about. Because, you know, while what I'm saying might be true, it's not true in that little universe. Because high school really is its own little universe. It's its own pocket galaxy in the world, and like, none of the rules of being an adult really apply there as much. It's odd. It's very, very odd. So to summarize those 2 points, I really would say just try to reach out to staff members you trust, or, you know, people that you think you could be good friends with, people that you have a lot in common with, maybe people that you even feel, maybe they haven't communicated this to you or to anybody, but maybe you feel like they might also be queer, or, you know, gender questioning or something, because they very well might be thinking that about you too. So there could be some kind of unspoken like bond right off the bat, because you both understand that you're trying to befriend each other because you need somebody, because nobody gets it. And that very well could happen. That's a very common situation for people to feel a connection to somebody because they feel like they're going through the same thing. And, you know, it's important to be careful and tactful when you're approaching a situation like that, but you can create and discover some amazing friendships that way. So that's one matter, is, you know, surviving high school by finding a support system through the staff or through friends that you can create, or not create, really. It's not a character creation. Yeah, I want this friend with this hairstyle and this interest and this skill. No, but friends that you can meet and you can create that relationship. But there's also the matter of understanding that high school is temporary, that this life is temporary, not this life as a whole, but the life of being a high school student, the life of being a student, the life of being in this high school situation is all very temporary. If I could tell myself in 9th grade that I would be looking like this, feeling like this, being this person, doing this work when I was 19. When I was 13, if I could tell my 13-year-old self that, they would not believe me. It would not seem realistic. It would seem completely bullshit. So I want you to know as well that whatever you feel like is achievable, so much more is achievable. So much more is possible for you. You might feel like you're gonna have to maybe settle for something that doesn't make you quite happy, but you gotta do it because, you know, you don't wanna overshoot or something. But that's what I did. And I haven't done that for 4 years. No, for like 2 years, I guess. I don't know. When I graduated high school, I thought I was a man. I thought I was going to do makeup because I was good at it, and it was something that, you know, I could do easily. It was an easy route for me. But I knew I wanted to be an entertainer. I knew I wanted to help people with serious issues. I knew I wanted to be some kind of an activist. I knew I wanted to stand up for people. I wanted to stand up for what was right. I wanted to speak for people that couldn't speak about, you know, their own struggles. And I was like, there's no job for that. I can't do that. I'm just gonna be a makeup artist. Which, if you wanna be a makeup artist, if that's your ultimate dream, fucking do it, okay? But I'm telling you, that wasn't my ultimate dream. It was just something that I knew I could do and it could pay the bills. And life has a way of shocking you. Like, it's weird. It's weird. You don't even, at least for me, when all these changes started happening, you know, well after high school, I didn't even think about that kid. When, you know, that 13-year-old kid that couldn't look people in the eye and was bullied every day. Like, I didn't think about that. And I didn't think about, you know, the graduating guy that was like, oh, I have to be serious and, you know, strap on my college boots and shit. I didn't think about that dude like yesterday. It's so bizarre. It's so hard to explain, but you will be an entirely different person in 4 years. And it's not that you're becoming somebody else. It's that you are growing and changing and learning. And you're finding your own place in the world, and you're creating your own space in the world. And I think that's a very comforting thought. And I wish that I could have told that to myself when I was in high school. So, you know, I can give you all the advice in the world about making friends and finding support systems. But I think the best thing for you to know is that high school ends. And that it really doesn't fucking matter. It really does not fucking matter. You know, of course there are certain career paths in certain passions that might require, you know, a very deep understanding of math or something. You know, there's all those kinds of things. But the social structure of high school, it does not fucking matter. What you wear doesn't fucking matter. And this is coming from a person that dressed to the nines every day. I wore heelless 7-inch platform shoes and did my makeup like a freaking theater actor every day because that was what made me happy. But, you know, I can remember that being cool and also remember and acknowledge that that really had no consequence. Besides, maybe people remember me a little bit more. I don't know. If you're having an easy time in high school and you know it's going well, I'm very happy for you and I think that's fantastic. But if you know somebody or if you are a person who's having a tough time, please just remember this is not permanent. This is a temporary situation and you're gonna get out of there and kick the world's ass. You're gonna show them who you are. And it's gonna be incredible. With all that being said, I am gonna head out. If you guys have any practical tips, like the things I said about possibly making friends or support with the staff members, if you have things like that might help a young trans or queer person through high school, please let us know in the comments. Let's start a dialogue about that. Let's exchange tips and tricks and maybe, honestly, maybe make some friends down in the comment section, you know, that you can text all day or something. Because that would help me. That would have helped me. I didn't have a cell phone until I was like 17 years old. So like, do that. I don't know. And until next time, just remember, you are a unique individual that will spend a lifetime growing and changing. And who you are right now is just a tiny decimal fraction of the masterpiece you're going to become in just a short number of years. So remember that. I love you so much. Bye. Also check out the merch in the description box. Don't forget. I love you. Peace out.